Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Oh my goodness. Just trying to push these threads apart so I can see where I want to park my other working thread. Okay. So I can see I don't have very many needles left on my needle minders, so I have to be careful. Yeah, too many needles left on the threads and it will start to tangle on me. Yeah. My guideline is usually 8 to 10, although I've found that I've been able to push that a bit. Maybe it's just I'm getting more practice being able to get them free without causing a big problem. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah, hit my first 0 on this pattern last session. Wonder how long it will be before I get to hit another. We shall see. So we're heading into our season of mud here. Yeah, as things start thawing, it's just turning the ground into mud. And yeah, they're calling for another bunch of snow. So that makes the driving fun, because it ends up being very soft packed. It's almost like you're trying to drive through sand. Yeah. It's gets frustrating, that's for sure. Well, we may not have too many needles on threads because I'm at the point where a lot of these are getting parked out of the diagonal and in for the next one. So that means I tuck it away with no needle. happens a lot at the edges. Also when you're changing what part of the picture you're stitching, right? To use different colors for different items, so that'll do it too. Okay, 37.56. Yeah, once again, almost no two stitches of the same color next to each other. Definitely keeping things interesting. So I have a backup project that's that extremely boring part. It's all just the same color pretty much in the upper left because it's background. So yeah, when I need a brain break, I do that one instead. Yeah, I have a few projects that have lots of boring background, so rather than slogging through it all at once, use it when I need breaks from my main project. And now that I have myself a second stand, a lap stand, I don't have to keep rotating projects in and out of this floor stand, because that was one frustrating bit. Yeah, getting the frames in and out can be a bit of work, so. Okay, so once again, multiple threads, and I'm just going to check how long the pieces are. If I could get to it. Okay, short one. All right, so now, and this is longer, so now I know what I decided, yeah. That is why I joined a new thread up here. There we go. Yeah, I caught that on the back and was accidentally pulling that back through want to leave a big loose loop. If you do that on the back, then it often translates to making the stitch loose on the front, and you got to fix that later. So that is one drawback of this parking method. You have to be careful not to dislodge your other threads and pull them loose. There, okay. And once again, checking different lengths. Right, not very long. This one isn't that long either, but yeah, I know what I decided to do with it. Between these two shorter parked threads, I should have just enough to do the stitches that are in this section. There we go. So mark that I parked it. Only got one strand through the eye. There we go. Yeah, lots of changing. Oh, yes. I thought I'd put that one in my working tray, and I had. Probably unthreaded this strand, but oh well. Oh, that was my last needle. Here is one. Yeah, that was threaded, but when I pulled the thread back out to use it, it unthreaded again. Okay, that is the last stitch we're going to get out of this piece. Okay. And another one gone. It's funny, when I say that, immediately my brain starts thinking of Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. Which is funny because, that reminds me now, they were talking about songs that are the right beat to do chest compressions in CPR, and that was one of them. I remember thinking, I'm not sure if chanting Another One Bites the Dust to yourself as you're trying to, you know, keep someone alive is maybe the best choice. Although it was funny, then another one they said was Staying Alive. That seems fitting, right? Or someone also said the Imperial March from Star Wars is the right beat too. I could just imagine humming to yourself, you know, dun, 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 as you're doing chest compressions. Yeah, actually, I saw they had to update some lists too, because of course, younger people are not going to know Staying Alive or Another One Bites the Dust. So yeah, they had a few modern ones that I wouldn't know, of course. Don't listen to as much newer stuff these days. Yeah, it always frustrates me. I watch a lot of medical dramas. I got hooked on them after I started watching ER. And, oh, the characters are almost always doing compressions way too fast. And I say, you know, you're not trying to defibrillate the guy's heart with your hands, you know? That's not how it works. Well, I mean, of course, they can't do them properly on screen anyway. I mean, you can't push as hard as you're supposed to because you could hurt somebody. It's different if they're actually down and their heart's not beating. I mean, you're not going to make it worse. But yeah, you can't do that on a healthy person who's just acting like they're hurt. Yeah, I had to take a first aid course a few years ago for work, and yeah, things had changed since the first time I took it. I remember when I took it when I was in high school, there were different rules, like you were not supposed to smack somebody on their back when they're choking. If they could still get some air through, you're supposed to leave it, and now they tell you to do that no matter what. You were always supposed to check if there was a pulse before attempting chest compressions, but now they don't. They basically tell you to do it no matter what, which is weird because I was told that could give you a heart arrhythmia, which could cause problems if the person's heart is beating and you start, you know, pushing on it. So yeah, who knows? It always changes, right? I certainly hope I will never be in a position where I have to actually use what I've learned. That's for sure. so just trying to see if I decided, my past me decided what I was going to do with this thread, if I was going to carry this back up to the right. Yeah, it's a long one, so I'm guessing that is what I decided to do, rather than joining a new one. But that means I have to go further left, yeah, to do stuff to the left before I can carry on. Yeah, I'm the nitpicky person watching TV. Actually, both me and my husband are, when things aren't right. Like when people are carrying boxes that are clearly empty, or cups that don't have anything in them. And yeah, some people just don't notice that stuff. I don't know how it irritates me so bad. Or the one that gets me too is they're always talking about hacking into a CCTV. Well, my husband has done security work. CC stands for closed circuit, which means it's not online. It's only on a local network, which means you can't hack into it unless you physically access the system. You have to actually like go to one of their, monitors and actually be able to plug in there. You cannot just hack online, but TV shows always get that wrong. It depends on your security system. Some are not closed circuit and you can hack them, but if it is a closed circuit, that is the whole point of having a closed circuit, is that it cannot be hacked from the outside. But I don't know, they always have characters say that instead of just security. They always say CCTV. And I don't know, do they think it sounds cooler or something? But yeah, it just frustrates me. Still working our way through Arrow. And at one point, one of the characters says, oh, did I put that in the wrong spot? Let me see. Oh. What have I done? Let me just take a look. 1, 2, 3. Or did I have, oh, I already had one parked here. That's what I did. Okay. And then I went and got a new thread. I don't know why. I did mark that I parked it. I don't know why I didn't realize there was one parked there. Doing. Anyway, as I was saying, we're still working our way through Arrow, and at one point, one of the characters, the techie character, says, have you ever hacked into CCTV? And I cried, no, because that's not possible. Oh. Right, so I gotta again go further left. Let's see if I have to do a reset or not. Taking my needles off to start afresh. We shall see. Yeah, so here's one where I was doing the stitches. They were I left them behind the line just because they were so close to the edge. And I didn't have to do these stitches yet to keep carrying further on down the diagonal, so I just left them for this diagonal. I probably just didn't feel like getting out a new color since it's not in the working tray, it was in the envelopes. So yeah, sometimes I just procrastinate it till the next diagonal. Okay, my gosh, yeah. Lots and lots and lots of different colors and needles. Okay, so make sure again that I do this correctly. Just double checking with my grid lines there. Okay. Goodness, every time I think I can clear another needle, I have to add 2 more. Oh dear. Okay. Try that again. Oh, good thing I double checked. I was almost about to do the stitch wrong. I was almost about to go this way instead of the way it is now, so yeah. Glad I caught that. Okay. Now that was a long strand of thread, but I left it unthreaded because it's going to be a while till I get to the stitch that it is parked in, and I'm running low on needles. That's my last one that's not on a thread right now, so. Okay. Okay, just trying to make sure I put that back in order in my envelopes. Yeah, well, I had to go quite a ways to the left, so that meant starting a bunch of new threads, so hopefully as I work my way right, I can end a bunch of threads and get my needles back. Alrighty. Okay, and it's in the next big square of 100, so I decided to carry it. Sort of borderline as to whether I'd decide to do that, but yeah, I decided to do that, so. Okay, so now we're coming back to, yeah, I went all the way to the left so that the diamond stitches, I could do them at the same time. Oh, I can see already I did something wrong here. Yep, I can see what I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one goes there. Yeah, I can see I parked this this strand one over to the left of where it should be. So I can fix that now. Okay, so yeah, now I finally worked my way back to, because I wanted to do these two together so that I could carry this up to the right and then sort of back down to the left without closing anything in, doing it out of order. So that is why I decided to do that. So these two, and then this one in that corner. And then park it. Yes, perfect. Okay. Could have done any stitch next, but I'm going to do this one because then I can, okay, that is not threaded. Let's see if I can find an empty one. Because then this one can be parked and out of my way. So that's often how I decide what to do next when I'm when I'm left with sort of multiple choices of being able to do them without closing anything in. I'll often pick the thread that I can park out of the diagonal first and get it out of my way. Can I get this out? Sort of. I think it had a needle attached. It no longer does. Yeah, that's probably the needle that was on it right there. Okay, so I could carry this to the right, or I could carry it down to the left. I'm going to carry it down to the left because the one that is to the right is in the next diagonal, and it's only a single stitch, so I will probably look for a short piece to do that. Okay, I'm going to do this one first. And there we are. Yes, because then if this one is long enough, we will check. Yes, it is. Perfect. So then that way I can do all these three in one go. Didn't have to switch back and forth quite as much. I don't mind doing that, but if I can make it slightly more efficient, then I will. Okay. Come on, there we go. Okay, another one to put away. There, can finally start thinning this out a bit. Perfect. Is that the correct one or no? I think, where am I? Where is the, oh, there's the grid line. No, it was. Grid line was just kind of covered by my other parked thread, so I thought perhaps I was in the wrong place, but I was not. So, good. Well, so far, I've managed to make it without tangling. Although I probably shouldn't have said anything, because I'll jinx myself, right? Okay. There we go. There we go. Right, I did not leave this one threaded because it was way too short. Oh. So I will leave it threaded this time because I only have to do one stitch. That is to the right of it before picking up this needle again, so I should be able to keep it in place. Okay, perfect. That's another one and another one, so two of them that I can get dealt with and ended off. Oh, haha, for all the leaving it on the needle, for all the good it did me, hey? Yeah, still unthreaded it. Oh dear. Yeah, I tried buying a little threader tool off of eBay. It was this one where you push a button and it pulls a little sort of hook out, very tiny hook that goes through the eye of the needle and pulls the thread back. But I discovered if you're trying to use it to thread parked threads, it didn't really want to work. It only worked good for threads that were free and not attached to your work yet. So yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, it was only a couple of bucks that I bought it for, so whatever. If it didn't work, it wasn't a huge investment that I lost. Yeah, and it was actually a bit fiddly too, so in the end, it really wasn't much more. Didn't really save me any time from just doing it manually, which I've gotten pretty quick at now. Oh, that was threaded. I thought maybe I set it aside, but I did not. Now I can set it aside. All right, I may just leave that one. It is, yeah, close enough to the line. Okay, so I'm going to again go over to the left, see if I can do all this in order or not. I'm gonna see if I can do those black diamond ones with one strand and not close anything in, or if I will need to add another. We'll see. Just see how it works out. Okay, and left again. Yeah, we may be getting more sun and it's warming up, but you can probably hear my furnace has been running quite a bit. It's still darn cold out there. Ah. Pardon me. Okay. Come on, there we go. Oh, jeez. Did it again. Oops, I did it again. No, I promise I won't break out in song. Not for that song, anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of shading here. It's got a lot of colors. It's like I have 796, 798, 799. Yeah, almost every color in a row there. So a lot of very subtle shading. Okay. And I'm gonna tack this down. Yeah, it's pretty short and it's gonna be sitting there for a while, as it is in the next diagonal, so tack it down so it won't go anywhere. So this one I'm going to end off rather than parking it. Because, yeah, it's a fair ways to carry, so. Where are the scissors? Ah, there they are. There. Once again, an end was just coming up on the wrong side. Oh, I think I got a little dot here. Just gonna take a peek. I think we're okay. Oh, perhaps we are not. Yeah, there's a teeny little knot, but it's so small that I can get away with it. So I'm gonna leave it. Just gonna double check the back here. Yeah, that was the only little bit of a snarl, so no problem. Okay, so once again, I filled everything in. That was to the left of these 2 diamond stitches. So I can now do them and carry on. So yeah, it's pretty complex in this area, but a little patience and planning. I still did not have to do anything out of order this time. Okay, yes, so I see I have 2 separate threads here because one is sort of going to the left, one's going on a slightly different path, a few stitches away. So that is why I chose to do that. Good, and a couple more threads I can finish off. Goodness. There. Trying not to split the, pierce any of the other parked threads, because that'll cause me a problem later if I do that. Okay, too short to carry, so end the thread. Okay, just trying to find some place to pin stitch. I've done quite a few pin stitches in this area, so it's kind of filling up. So yeah, sometimes I use a combination. Some of them I draw the threads along the back, and some I do pin stitch. So either way, there'll be room to do it without too much bulk. Okay, and again, too short to carry. There we go. Now, starting to get into an area that has a little less confetti and more stitches of the same color next to each other. So that always goes a little faster. Oh dear. cross-check. Yeah. I was cross-checking with my grid line before I park it and remove the needle. Oh, look at that. We hit 100 stitches. Yeah, it took a little longer because there was a lot of color changing, but we got there. Okay. Just gotta make sure I end this off properly. There we go. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call it a day. And thank you for joining me once again. All right, bye.